Hello everyone, it's Raven, and somebody asked me in the comments on my Does I Edit how to do the edit. So I'm going to be showing y'all, and I'm going to edit my voice, so this is not how I actually sound like. So, if you're wondering, I'm not going to show you how I made the character, but I'll do another video if you want that. So, I use IBS. I can't say the whole name. So I use IBS Paint X, and I should have the photo that I still. If I don't, I'm gonna re-record this whole thing. So I usually do this one, the 3-4. I go to my camera section, and yes, I still have it. So usually I do like a little green screen. Now this is the one I used for the last edit, but that's not going to matter because I edited it anyways. So I put this, so I make thick 4 extra layers. I turn this down, and these are the things I use most. I use a dip hard pen to outline. So just outline the hair. You can add little curves and stuff. It's not gonna make a difference. So I'm gonna speed through this part, and I will show you the next part when I'm finished. I lost the footage here, so just know that I just basically did an outline of Dazai's hair. Bye. And once you're done with outlining the hair, I like to go to the section layer up here, just so I can make sure that I got everything. And I just tap this a few times to make sure that there's no white on the outline and making sure I got everything. And then the white parts, you just go back and make sure you got all of it. If you need to, go to your brush and fill in some of the gaps. So once you're done with that, go back to down here. You're gonna start with the hair. So I make his hair really dark. Just color it in. Just to make sure I got everything, I will undo it. And if I see there's stuff like this, I will color it. Go back. Now, here's one of the funnest parts in my opinion, is how to do the hair. So I will add a few more layers, and I will go to almost a black, but it's a very dark brown. This part right here is where I'm going to be doing it. You just go like this. You just make some lines coming down. It doesn't matter how many of these there are. So that's gonna be it. That doesn't look as good as the first time, but it's whatever. So make it a little bit bigger, and where all of it meets up, make a little circle. Once you're done there, go to the layer right here. You are going to make a you're going to use black for this. I use the brown brush for the curve, and just can I see it? and just make just go like this. Now, if I realize it's too dark, I will erase it, which it is too dark. And then I will copy this color and go back and make it just slightly darker. And repeat the same things that I was doing earlier. Once you are done with the hair on top, you just go to the bottom and do the same thing. For the curves, I just go like this. Once you are done with that, you will make a layer above it, and you will do a slightly lighter color. Well, not slightly, it can actually be how you want. Just do the same thing, but don't do it as extreme as the darken layer below it. Now just go along the edges until you think you like the color that it's making, or just how the shading looks. For this part where you made the circle earlier, go a little bit deeper and make it a little bit rounder. For these lines, make your brush a little smaller. Just go along them. When you think you're finally satisfied with the color it's producing, make sure if you want to go back and use these lines and separate parts of his hair. Now, when you're done, it's probably gonna look something like this. These lines that you did earlier, make your brush really small and make your opacity go down, maybe to around 47. And just don't go back and forth, like, because then you're gonna make it a lot more noticeable. Just follow down the lines. this isn't going to be the exact tutorial that, or the exact things that I did for the first edit, but this is somewhat really close, so I'm trying my best. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click this, turn your opacity all the way up, and go to a new layer. Make it bigger, because the bigger you make it, the less solid color there's going to be. It's more of going to be a fade. So go along the edges, and you'll notice a hint of color change. Don't make it go all the way, do a little bit. I'm so sorry, I'm not doing a lot of editing during this. Well, during the actual, when I'm making the video. I have school tomorrow and I don't want to stay up this late, and I want to get this at least done by tonight. So, you should be done with the hair. If you want to, this isn't what I did last time, but if you want to, this makes a really nice effect. You can put your opacity around 20 with like straight up black, and just go like that, and it just makes the hair a little bit darker. Once you're done with it, you can turn this back on, and this is how the hair will look. Next, we're going to start on the bandages. Again, I will go to the section layer, and this time, I will go back to the dip hard pen, and you want to get rid of these lines. So make sure you have most of the white covered. If you want to know, this is not like necessary, but this is what I did last time, and I think it makes a really nice effect. Make sure to get this one. You can do this one, but I'm going to do this one separately. You will go back to the main layer and you will go to white and just fill it in. Now, you will again do the magic wand and click your space. You will go to, just to make this easier, I will drop down some of these layers. I think I'm gonna set up. There we go. If you want to, you can drop down these layers, but for some reason I can't do it. So I'm going to make more layers. The hairline is always going to stay on top. Do not remove that. It just, you can remove it. It just makes the hair look a little bit neater. A little bit more neat. You will go to 10 and just make lines to show that these are bandages, and you can also make it double so it looks like that it's wrapping up. I'm so sorry if I'm speaking really low. When you're done, you're going to do the shading. You're going to move this all the way up by the hair. You are going to go back to the airbrush, turn it to 100, and do a gray. Where the hair is, just do a little bit of a faded gray. This next part is your choice. It still looks great without it, but this is what I did. I go to black and just do a little bit more shading. When you're done, it should look like this. Now, we're going to I'm going to turn it to 63 and make my brush really small. Just do a little bit of shading on the lines that you made. Just for a little bit of extra detail. Now, make it go all the way down to maybe 10, around 10, and make your brush really big. And just go over random parts with it, and you make it go like that. Now, just do some of the same things you did with this. But for this one, we're just going to keep its regular shape and shade it. Now, for this one, I did the same thing I did with this bandage. So I will start back up again when I get to this bandage. For this bandage, again, I will go to the section layer. And make sure that I got all the parts of this bandage. When it comes to this one, there's lines like these. That's why using the brush makes it really helpful. During this, I just switch back and forth between the wand and the brush, so I can get the smaller parts, and I don't spend too much time on the bigger ones. Now that you have that done, we're going back to the layer where we did all our bandages. And like the two above, we are going to start off with a gray. If you're wondering, this is who made the comment. Also, I really like your profile picture. So, and then we're going to go back with the black again. Make the edging a little bit darker. Now that that's done, we are going to work on the clothes. If you notice, these are a little bit violet. That was an accident. So we go to the main layer and just cover it up with white. I didn't do too much of it. I didn't worry too much about seeing the purple. Now if you look closely, you can still see the purple. I didn't worry too much of that because you're not going to be paying attention to that. And we're going to cover it up with shading. We again will color this and go to a slightly lighter gray. Where regular bandages will also be where we're doing some of the shading for the clothes. Make it to around maybe 30 and start shading. Because as a sleeve, we're going to want to make it shades around. The only really light part right here. Continue just shading along the edges. If you want to, you can go back with the black. I didn't. I just made a slightly darker gray. Now that that's done, it is time for the jacket. Most of the time when you do the jacket, some of the parts will go like that. So, for the jacket part, I just go here and I just use my brush. Once you're done with making sure that it's all in, since this is so dark, we're going to go and start off with the black. Again, go to your airbrush and make it slightly bigger and just go along the edges. Now, make a gray and turn the opacity down a little, make it around 35, and just start going gray. Start shading the gray. Start putting it around, changing the opacity to different things, and then going back to black, and putting multiple layers of different shades with different opacities, just to make it look a little bit more natural in my opinion. Now, you're going to do a light gray, and you're going to do the airbrush trapezoid down here. For this, just this will not always look good, but I tried. Because of this, go to a like slightly darker gray and go back to the airbrush triangle and cover it again. Since it looks a little bit fading. Then of course go back to your black and make some different shades. That doesn't look as great as the first time, but it works. Now, you are going to do the same with his pants. You are going to do a gray, 100% opacity, and just go through it. Just do some black on the outside, into kind of like a medium gray, but don't make it too noticeable. Just put it on his knee area and cover it with a little bit of black. For his collar area, don't make it too hard, I didn't really do anything so complicated. I just did some black, but to where it looks a little bit of gray. If you're wondering, my voice probably sounds horrible right now, and I'm listening to it. When I'm editing this, it's probably gonna sound so bad. Who cares? Anyways, it's not late where I am, but we'll just go like this. Now that you're done with most of his clothes, we are going to work on his shoes. Turn your opacity down around to 21 and just go over his shoes. Do a gray and just add a little bit of gray right on the top part of his shoe, and do another gray, but do the trapezoid. And the opacity down a little bit low, so you can't really notice it that much. It still looks nice, even though you're probably not paying attention to it. Here, now we're almost done. We're going to be working on the eyes. So go to your layer selection. Just color this. We'll select it with a proper term. Normally you would do this on both of these eyes, but since when a bandage is covering his other eye, we only have to do one. Do it on a whole new layer. Get this color. Just turn his whole eye that color. Then do a slightly darker color. That is not a slightly darker color. And put it at the top as if to match the gray on the side. Do a lighter brown and go back to your airbrush triangle. Make it 100% and just go like that. Just to make it a little bit easier, make this look like a fade. Just go. Now, you are going to use this oval. You can adjust it however you want. I'm going to make it that big. Make it a little bit lighter than normal. Around circles. Then you're going to make a darker color. And go along the outlines with it. From here, make it bigger, just so that part can fade a little. Do the same down here. Now, go to around 32. Now we are going to work on the skin. I'm not going to do anything too fancy with the skin. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. Once you've got that done, go to a new layer, copy the skin color that he currently has, make it a little bit darker, and just go where his hair is. Put a little shadow under it. For the neck, do the same thing, but make it a little bit darker. Then go back to your normal shade for the hands. Now, just go a little bit darker. And like the bandages, just do it lightly so you can't really notice that there's the second part there. And then you're done with your skin. Editing of Dazai. It is time to work on the background. Go to the main and get your brush. Since it's green, it's going to look a tad bit cyan. Now, wherever you see green, just go along the outline. I'm going to speed this up so y'all don't have to wait that much. I have the footage of me going through it, but I was stupid enough not to edit it while I took the footage, so it's going at the normal speed, which is pretty long, and this video is already 33 minutes. So I'm just going to skip this part, just go around the character and look for any green and color it blue. Okay, back to the video. Go back here, just to save some time while erasing. I use the airbrush trapezoid and just put it at 1000. Just go around. Now we're going to make two bottom layers. So 1 and 2. You're going to pick a gray and do an airbrush triangle and put it at 1000. Just do a little bit of a light gray. Now we are going to do a little bit of a marking out window. So we are going to go to the second layer and I usually use this to help me. You don't have to. You can just wing it and just draw the window. This is supposed to be somewhat creating a natural light source. So light shining through the window. Once that is done, you'll go back to this bottom layer. You'll just do a mixture of different grays, trying to make this look like concrete. I'm just using a mixture of different things. once you're satisfied with how it looks, then you start working on the window. Once you're done with that, you will go up here. You will go to a nice brownish color and just color. And then, just to make sure you don't get any on the outside, select it and continue doing different shades of orange. Just to make it a little bit more believable, go ahead and add in some gold and some yellow. Now once that is done, you are going to select this whole thing again, including this window. Now you are going to go to this sliver again and just go like do something to make it get more believable. Add in some different shades in there, some dark orange, some yellow, gold. Now, to get it on the jacket, you're going to create the 16th layer. Just color on the edge of his jacket. And color on some of the tips of his hair. Don't worry, this won't stay yellow all the time yellow. From there, do another shade, do a little bit of a darker orange. Make the opacity around 15 and just color it. And do some different opacities to make it look a little bit more natural. Occasionally make it a little bit more bigger. Just make it a little bit bigger. Not as good as the first one, but here, and that is how I made the DOS I edit. I hope this was somewhat enjoyable, and I hope I explained something well, or everything well, actually. This is gonna annoy me, so I'm just gonna fix this real quick. Okay. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps some of y'all. Have a great day or night. Peace. First off, thank you for staying this long. This video is 39 minutes and 21 seconds, so it's really long. Also, this probably didn't help you that much, and I was really slow at this since this is my first time. Anyways, thank you for watching.